Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, chairpersons and my senior colleagues and all colleagues for this particular opportunity. We have heard since morning all this technology, but something which is coming up which is so profound, so important, and so valuable for us that if we miss this, we will be slave. We must give attention to what I'm going to talk now. Otherwise, we do not know we'll be under some big giant technological companies and not under our government. So at the outset, I thank very much this fantastic team of Hitcon, who I appreciate every time they are doing all these efforts for the last 9 years. So in these 10 minutes or 12 minutes, what I'm going to talk about what is Metaverse, web versions, digital twins and avatar, opportunities and applications, medicine, Metaverse adoption, then startups, some of the law, fiction of the origin, and then what is happening now, and some players, and also at the end as a conclusion, should we immerse into or not? So it's very important that this metaverse is inclusive of so many things like VR, AR, MR, XR, 3D printing, blockchain, and also artificial intelligence. But it is basically interaction with other users in a computer-generated environment. It's a built-up platform where all users are in real life and in digital life, they converge. And it is a travel-less experience. The metaverse properties are basically, it is a massively scale. What we are doing at present is not that. I mean, metaverse, there are many people, many avatars, they are working or interacting together. It is interoperable with the digital twins, real-time 2D, 3D virtual worlds, absolutely synchronized. They are having some property of their own, and it is an individual sense of presence like a unique avatar. So these are the terminology which are used in this metaverse, and you need to be familiar with that, which includes virtual, as we know, as a no physical existence, or an immersive experience where nothing is there, still you feel like you are in that particular environment. And all those small abbreviations, especially XR, which is extended reality, which includes VR, AR, MR, and all other things, and also part of blockchain data, which is impossible to change or hack or to cheat the system. Web version is very important. Up till now, earlier we were using Web 1.0. Now at present we are using is a current version is 2.0, which is a centralized one, like you are going into that environment only, which is only particularly that application or particularly that social media. But with the Web 3.0 version, which is decentralized, which are having no intermediaries, is a useful and because you are going to have your own data like NFTs and health records, and it also includes AR, VR with a metaverse. Something like you go to Low Garden, nobody is restricted, anybody can go. It's nothing like there is an intermediary which is going to restrict you. So it is a permissionless blockchains with artificial intelligence and interoperability. How you can involve? So you need to be an avatar, which is basically a computer representation of users, used primarily in chat and games, which we know, and it is a cartoon-like version of yourself. But now in healthcare, it is happening real. He is a neurosurgeon, Dr. Lewis, who is having a discussion with his colleagues who are very much far from his center, and all of them are having their avatar there, and they are discussing, they are putting their hands, they are talking about what could be the pre-operative precise planning for this particular patient who are going to go for a neurology operation. So this is how these metaverse avatars are working, and this is what I'm talking about is happening. It's not about to happen, and that is the reason why I want to warn all of you. What is digital twin? Digital twin is basically a replica of a patient's organ or lab results or vital data or genetic markup, or it may be a tools, it may be a devices of the hospital, it may be the whole process of the hospital, it may be hospital itself. So what happens? Once you have a replica of one patient or one situation, then you can experiment with that, and in that you can find out and discover pathology before the disorders and improve treatment and preparation for the surgeries. So something which is given where you can do all these things and you can find out the future one. So it is a more realistic medical training which can happen in Metaverse. So you can ask the student to do an intubation, and actually he is doing on that particular plastic model, but with the AR he is able to see whether he is going into the esophagus or in the trachea. So it is a realistic haptic feedback. The other advantage is a direct patient care. So those patients where initially it has been started, there are a number of patients who are already been treated with this, with a behavioral health. So with this, a Metaverse type of a one-to-one experience, they can give all psychotherapy and all other treatment with remote patients monitoring devices, and also with a walk-in clinical virtual world. The third advantage or opportunity is that there can be a retail product and device commerce. So all these products which are used for this Metaverse, there is a huge amount of business which can be involved in this Metaverse. It is also used for passively assisting patients, where patients' healthy behavior with a smart workout through digital accesses, it can be given a very good rehab, simulating his age and simulating his weight loss, what is going to happen, and allowing patients to own their records, which is very important passively. So it's an easy way for patients to access and port their medical records between different virtual worlds. There are a number of virtual worlds they can distribute. Now, this is very important for all of us. There's a big burnout ratio of physicians. In ICU nurses, it goes up to 70%. And physicians who are seeing the deaths early day in, day out, they have a suicide tendency twice than the normal population. So this helium neurofeedback headset has come, which is helping you to register brain waves and vitals with a chatbot and guide to be stress-free. So this is for the staff and for the physicians, where in this Metaverse, you go there, you relax, and you are stress-free. This is something very wonderful. And there are headsets for the patients where if the patient is taking chemotherapy or renal dialysis, he's very much bored, but he can, with the Metaverse, go back to his home house, his family, he can chit-chat, he can also play game, as well as the same time dialysis or chemotherapy is going on. Educational Metaverse in foyer. You have a big hospital. And in that big hospital, when the patient enters, there can be a Metaverse where he can see all departments and he can go through many of the parts of your hospital, and actually he understands and experiences where he wants to go and where he is going to interact, only in the foyer. And for the medical education, for training, this is a wonderful, where we have VR, AR, where even with a 2D album, the teacher is able to show in a 3D wave because there are glasses. So instructor can interact in a spatial environment, not in 2D, simple one. Virtual reality in a Metaverse, this is very, very important. Look at this. The spine operation is being to be done, and then we can see the spine in all different directions. We can take various types of sections and we can find out. But inside of this view, you can see even something where you are interacting, something where you are pushing the buttons and it is happening. So everything is on this Metaverse. There is nothing like a physical device where you are actually pushing the buttons. All these things are possible now. Metaverse behavior therapy, this Oxford VR has come out with a headset where all patients having some psychological other problems which can be treated very well, especially post-traumatic stress disorders therapy, which is now very much accepted, and it's a non-pharmacological management of dementia with behaviors, all these things with particular headset. So there's a huge amount of this thing going on. With a Metaverse, you can show the patients various facilities. They will not be very much worried about what will happen with their rooms, with a C-section operation theaters, or with a neonatal care. All these things can be very well explained. AR for intraoperative procedures where the patient's specific digital twins visualization is done, and we can go through all these things in a great detail, and the surgeons will be easily with a HoloLens on his head, he'll be able to go deep into the organ biopsy, and he will be able to do all ablative procedures for all cancerous early stage cases. All these things are very much possible with this. What is very important, when the surgeons are present in endoscopy, they are doing something over here, but their face is on the wall, and that is very bad for the ergonomics. So here, with this particular technology, it has come like there only you are seeing that particular screen. So you need not change your head. There only with this particular headset, you are able to see through and through the patient's body, and you are able to perform. With the Metaverse XR, the patient's room of the future for the battery he have at home. So at home he is able to see with the sensor whether he's doing a good physiotherapy or not, and all tracks can be made because it is again an involvement in Metaverse. All those patients with a stroke, they will be more interactive when they are attached with this particular technology, and there also is a good amount of virtual medical coaching which is happening with this particular technology.
Excuse me, sir, 2 minutes remaining for the...
I think I'll take 4 minutes more. So you know this particular part, like how are you making one operation? So all these things are there. But when such things are happening, the computer also do the same what humans are doing. So with the information analysis, decision, action, and performance, what exactly is this where you are getting this 3D is that the patients, all photographs and CT and MR and all these things are into this particular headset. And when surgeons have it, he is able to see through the patient's body, absolutely in real time. And this is what is happening with this particular technology. This is what has happened in our orthopedics, like 40 surgeries have already been done in 2007, where with this technology, surgeon is able to go inside and see what is happening inside the body, and he can pass K-wires, he can pass interlocking screws. All these things are possible because of this mixed reality technology. Now, adoption is a very difficult thing. So, everybody is so much fearful with this metaverse. So a lot of training, lot of exposure, and a lot of things are to be taken care, especially for the cybersecurity and research. Now let me tell you what are the startups coming up. Exploro has come up with all this facility for kids and to show what is happening in the hospitals, and they are giving an avatar to this. It's a big startup which has started. The another company is Mediview, who is now giving you for 40 different surgeries absolutely ready software where you can go inside and check everything, and look at the amount of business, 5.7 billion, 4.5 million, it is in a fund at present, and the whole thing is in a huge way going on, and we still are not taking interest into this. XR Health, where patients are given all these things in a metaverse, and you see the equity up to 22 million, and more than 5,000 patients have been up till now treated with this. This is something more advanced. 8 Chile, who has come out with, he has trained 1,000 professionals where there is a surgery which is on the YouTube, but the trainee is able to superimpose his hands on that, and he gets actual sensation and actual feeling that if he wants to operate, how he's going to learn all the difficult steps. So friends, what is happening with this is that, the Vital Start. Vital Start is another company who is coming out with a 5th vital sign, that is for the pregnant moms, is a well-being profile. So many aspects are covered with this particular startup, which is having an 18 billion US market, because they found that 90% of mothers are depressed. So they have found out this metaverse a great boom for this. Now what is the law? Law is that this metaverse has to compliance with the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. So what we are now supposed to take interest is that when government is making these, our association has to go and to keep in mind for the security, integrity of medical information, enforcement of the right, privacy and security of the patient's interest, because there are going to be so many problems. So what was the origin in 1992? Neil Stephenson, who started with this particular novel only, he said the global economy will collapse, happening. Federal governments will lose power, happening, and handful of giants corporations will control the world, which is what is happening with the Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. So with the Meta and all these things which has come up, they are going to control whole world. And there are n number of metaverse now. You can look at this so many different names, and they have a huge budget from 10 billion to up to 100 millions, and the total industry is $8.3 trillion, huge one. So there are a couple of pipelines, like Apple is coming out with this, then the Disney is coming out with this, Google is having this own way of this thing, and Microsoft is coming out with a platform called Mesh. All these things are coming out in a metaverse. So now the last slide is that, is there is a metaverse, then should we immerse or not? Friends, it's an inevitable alternate to reality. Don't ask why it has come, should we resist or not? No, there is no point in resisting. The point is that better you ask some of the very important questions, like what about the privacy of digital avatars, equitable space, democratic and open source, what line do we need to draw, and with metaverse will it be a safe? So these are the questions you ask, but you need to get involved. The point is that the dark side, yes, a violent incident is happening every 7 minutes on VR chat. So that much what is going on at present on this metaverse and all this reality. So metaverse can overstep its purpose, tool for predators, dangerous and unhealthy escape from reality. Holograms cannot replace human relationship. That is again very important part and some positive parts. So sensory experiences can't replace the emotions. So we know what is the importance of our human relationship, and metaverse cannot become a second life. So don't worry for that, but you cannot escape this now. You have to get involved into this metaverse. It's going to be imprisoned reality, if not the second life. So I thank you very much, all of you, to give attentions and giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Jawahar, for excellent presentation. Actually, this is really a very, very new thing for all of us. So thank you so much. I will request Dr. Shivam to give memento to Dr. Jawahar.